piss off, or all that stuff. He stuck up for himself.
Starr christened his new group Nanook, a name that made the kids cringe.
Everyone was like, how do you pronounce it and what the hell does it mean?
None. I don't even know how to say that. Nanook. Nanook? I don't know. It was spelled N-Y-N-U-K. It was Maurice's name that he had for some reason, and I have no clue.
In the fall of 1985, Nanook made their first public appearance at the Joseph Lee School in Dorchester.
It was just a local talent show, and it was an all-black neighborhood, and we were the only white kids. You know, not that that bothered me, but, you know, we definitely stood out in the crowd.
Tensions ran high, especially for Jonathan Knight, who suffered from stage fright.
I have, like, wicked bad anxieties. It is so bad. I've had it ever since I was a kid. And I was just filled with so much anxiety, and I thought I was going to pass out on the stage right then and there. There's probably around 300 people there, and I was really nervous. And any lead part that I had, I was supposed to go out in front of the microphones onto the stage, but I just stayed behind my mic because I was really scared.
It was beautiful because there's 5 white kids coming up on stage and turned it out. And the crowds were like, hey, if we sucked, we sucked. But if we're great and we were rocking the house, then it was all good.
Soon the group was performing for any audience they could find, at black community centers, social clubs, and even at Deer Island Prison in Massachusetts.
We smuggled in cigarettes.
And at the end of our show, we started chucking them out into the crowd.
The inmates were going crazy. They loved us, you know.
But record executives didn't, much to Starr's dismay.
He went around to every record company in America, and everybody turned him down.
Larkin Arnold was the senior vice president of A&R at Columbia Records.
I guess there was some reluctance on the part of some of the labels to sign a white group that was managed and produced by a black producer. And then, he had been involved in that big breakup with New Edition, so there was just a little question mark about him and whether he could duplicate that success again.
Although Arnold was skeptical, the boys won him over.
Maurice Starr sent me a video showing me the reaction that they had received at some black inner city school in Boston. And I was very, very impressed with the amount of stage presence that these guys had. To see them dipping and spinning and singing and everything, and the reaction that they got from the crowd was really said, oh, well, I think we may have something here.
In January 1986, Arnold decided to take a chance on Starr's protégés. The executives signed the group to a 1-record deal with Columbia's black division. The first order of business was a name change.
I told Maurice that Nanook, I didn't see any market for that name.
We had a rap song called New Kids on the Block. We're the new kids, and we're here to stay, or something like that. I guess the record company listened to the album and figured that's a good name for the group.
With a new record contract in hand, the 5 Boston teenagers set out to take on the world.
We wanted to prove people that, we had something to say and we were talented and we were ready to rock the house.
In 1985, producer Maurice Starr combined his streetwise pop music with 5 talented white teenagers, and New Kids on the Block was born. The group landed a contract with Columbia Records, but their climb to the top was just beginning. The New Kids released their first single, Be My Girl, in April 1986. Before long, the tune hit the local Boston airwaves.
I remember the first time we heard it on the radio was in the car. We were just jumping around, going crazy.
The excitement didn't last. Within weeks, the single disappeared from station playlists.
It was thought because of the music that they would try it at black radio, but it really didn't work.
It didn't do anything. It just was like, nothing was happening.
Still, the boys remained optimistic. In October, New Kids on the Block released their self-titled first album, written, produced, and arranged by Maurice Starr. Again, public response was dismal. Manager Dick Scott.
First album was junk, in terms of critically and sales-wise, and it was like, oh, well, we told you it was nothing, was the attitude around, among industry people, I think.
Agent John Aid figured it was time for the kids to pound the pavement.
The way we had to break the band was, also, personal appearances and you know, on the road and doing different things.
They more or less had to do a lot of the things on their own to just sort of dig it out and work and work and work and, you know, and build up their own following.
But a tour required money, and the record label wasn't chipping in.
I don't think that there was a lot of enthusiasm for the act. It was just a constant fight, you know, to try to get them to spend the amount of money and time and energy on the band that they should have.
Maurice put a lot of his money up to fund the promotional stuff. And there was some controversy that a mafia man supplied Maurice with this money. So Maurice used to always joke that if he disappeared, that we'd have to go look for him in the Charles River.
Finally, in December of 1986, the kids hit the road.
I remember leaving Boston with a beat-up bus that broke down every 4 or 5 cities.
We had to, you know, get dressed in it. It was in the middle of the winter. We were freezing cold. And when you don't have anything, you don't know the other side of it. So you just make the best of it.
It's kind of like us against the world.
New Kids bodyguard, Steve Biscuit Walker.
We worked from malls to Mervyn's to Magic Mountain to record stores, you know, to almost the living rooms, to pool parties, roller skating rinks, ice rinks. You name it, we did it. We did it all.
Charlie Walk handled regional promotions at Columbia Records. Walk booked the boys in local nightclubs.
There were definitely tough times. There were definitely times in which the audience did not respond very well. There were boos.
If I was, you know, 19 years old and I was out at a club, too, and I saw us, I'd probably boo, too.
We were singing a ballad in a nightclub, or there to dance, and they don't want to see, you know, 5 boys singing ballads.
In the spring of 1987,